Good evening. It's Wednesday, May 20th. Welcome to the trustees meeting to discuss reopening. Sam's going to read the statement about our Zoom meeting policy.
Good evening. It's 7:03, and I'd like to open the May 20th, 2020 meeting of the Board of Trustees. This meeting is being held virtually through Zoom. The Town of Littleton began conducting remote participation Zoom meetings pursuant to Governor Baker's emergency order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law on March 19th, 2020. Since that time, unanticipated legal concerns relating to the open meeting law have been brought to our attention by the town clerk. Those concerns were supported by the Attorney General's office and confirmed by Town Council. One concern is that the chat function allows a parallel text conversation to a board's public meeting. Chat is essentially running commentary that is occurring but is not moderated or followed by the chair. All participants and listeners may not be aware of comments being made because of some meeting participants joined by phone and do not see these conversations. Another concern is conversations between residents within the chat room which are not incorporated into the public record. In response to these concerns, let me move it down. The town will implement the following changes, which is in no way prohibit any member of the public from participating in discussion and sharing information during a public meeting, and will ensure that all listeners and participants have equal access to this meeting. People that join Zoom meetings are set so that their microphones are muted. If you called in by phone, please use *6 to mute or unmute your phone so that the meeting can occur in an orderly fashion. We ask that people who join keep their microphones on mute so that background noises do not interfere with the meeting. If you wish to participate in the meeting, please use the raise your hand function available on Zoom, or if you called in by phone, dial *9, which will activate the raise your hand function. The meeting host will notify the chairperson of the raised hands, and the chairperson will determine whether and when to allow public comment. When called upon, participants should unmute, then state their name and address. After speaking, we request that participant return to their microphone back to mute. And that's it.
Okay, so I should probably unmute myself so I can get this meeting rolling. So the purpose is to discuss our opening plan, when the date we're going to open and how we're going to do that. We also need to transfer the funds for the scholarship and the vote to support the warrant article on town meeting. Okay. So I suggest we take these things out of order a little bit. And where's your list again, Sam? Actually, I think we also need to vote when our next meeting is, because I don't think it's officially scheduled for June 4th yet, but maybe it is. So the warrant, let's, okay. Actually, we can do them in order, I guess. The MMDT fund. So we need, how much do we need for the scholarships? What did we say?
It was $2,000 for the scholarship, so I guess $2,000 each.
Okay, so we need to take $4,000 out of some BART account.
Yeah, so last year we took it out of gains from 301 and 304.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the gains on them this year? They're the ending realized gains.
301 is 1942, is that?
Right.
And 304 is, that's too far down. 301.
304 is 1691.
What's that? All right. Why can't I see that?
Which number are we talking? Oh, the 16, oh, column N.
Column N, so it's 1942.31. And 1691.21.
Right.
1, 5, 3, 13.
So there's the.
That's 36.33.51. Then we need
Which one has? Which one says 55.48?
55.48.
Ann C. Smith.
If it's that one, I would recommend, why don't we just take the 4,000 out of one account and then it's simpler?
Okay, so,
If that's,
306.
306.
all right, so Fund 306, $4,000 to to where?
MMDT.
Okay. All right, Fund 306, $4,000 to
It was 2,000.
MMDT. Beg your
Yes,
pardon?
but each person was 2,000. We're giving it to two people.
Oh, they each got 1,000. Okay, sorry.
All right, so do we need a motion to do that?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to transfer $4,000 to MMDT from Bartholomew Fund 306, the Ann C. Smith Fund,
Keep going, Dave, for the purpose of,
for the purpose of paying scholarships for our two interns,
recipients.
recipients. Thank you. That's the motion.
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion? So we'll do a roll call. Susan,
Yeah, yes.
Chris,
Yes, yes, I vote yes.
David,
Yes.
Demetra,
Yes.
you don't get a vote, Katrina, Mira,
Yes.
and Mark's a yes. Did I miss anyone?
How about Mira?
I thought I said
We
Mira.
got Mira. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, I'm tired.
Okay,
I will say that I spoke with both of those young ladies yesterday, and they are anxious to come and help in any phase that they can this summer. Just keep that in mind, please.
Okay.
okay. The next item was the warrant article. So this is Article 8, the town meeting. It's basically, I'm not sure that we didn't already vote this, but it's this is transferring the surplus funds from the design portion of the project, which we voted in May of 2019.
May 6th, yeah.
Yeah, so we voted at the May 6th, 2019 meeting, $1.5 million for the design of the library. The way the article was worded, we can only spend it on design and not construction funds. So we're not spending it. The intent of the article was to get it started on the construction project. We're not spending $1.5 million solely on design. So this article is meant to allow us to spend the remainder of this balance on construction. The remainder, I believe we've spent approximately half of the money so far on the design, and I would guess the total number is going to will be higher than half, but it's not going to be 1.5.
So there's like roughly $700,000.
I believe there's roughly $700,000 left at the moment. I don't know what the final number will be from the design versus construction.
That's interesting. I guess
So
that's
this
good
is
news.
so this is not asking. So the total library project is, I think it's, what is it, $14.6 million.
14,578, I think.
Yeah. So this is not making that number go up. It's just taking some of the money that we allocated and moving it between your left pocket and your right pocket, basically. I spent a long time explaining that to the Finance Committee and Board of Selectmen at their meeting on Monday. Both committees voted to support this. I believe we voted to support it in the past, but we should just reaffirm that.
Okay.
So someone needs to make a motion to support it, and then we need to have a second and a roll call vote, just to be safe that we probably voted this in February, but just to be safe, we should do it again.
I'll move for the Library Board of Trustees to support Article 8 to
As written.
As written, articulate as written.
I second.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, Susan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes, but yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Demetra,
Yes.
Mira,
Yes.
Mark, say yes. So it's
Mhm.
unanimous. Okay, now on to the fun stuff.
So
Hey, Sam.
Town meeting has been changed to the Saturday, has it not?
Saturday, June 13th at 8 a.m.
Yes. Okay.
At Alumni Field.
Yep.
Right. Okay, so the governor has said that the library is in phase 1 and that we can open on May 25th for curbside pickup. So earlier today, I spoke with Nina and the town administrator and the fire chief, Scott Wadzinski, and I shared with them my plans to open next week. And I told them I would like to open on Wednesday, May 27th, and they saw no problem with that as long as we're doing curbside pickup. So I shared with them my plans. They said it looks good. Staff wearing masks, gloves, aprons, doing curbside pickup with contactless delivery, putting a table out there, and the staff just putting something out there, whatever the patrons request out on that table. They said as long as no one is coming in the building, they don't see a problem with it, and as long as everybody is social distancing, washing their hands, wearing gloves multiple times throughout the day. And they said it was fine until phase 2. And then the governor also said in phase 2, the library can start letting people in at 25% capacity. So I asked them what that meant, if they counted the whole town hall building or just the library. And what Scott said is that it's by space. So people who have their own offices, that doesn't count towards the capacity.
Cool.
So, I have my own office. Susan has her own office. Helen sort of has her own office space. So that wouldn't count. So I think the capacity of the library is around 130 people. So we'll see. But that's a few weeks from now. I go for phase 2. So anyway, so my plan is to open next Wednesday, May 27th. So any questions?
One question is, how are we spacing out staff in the building?
So
And are we keeping like groups of staff working together, or is it still are staff working in blocks, or like half of the staff's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the other half's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday? I'm just picking dates, but you know what I mean.
No, so the staff, we've scheduled them to basically come in like they usually do, but we're going to space them out throughout the whole building. Someone's going to be in the children's room. There'll be, there's a desk by the elevator. There's at least 2 people can be at the shirt desk if they're on opposite ends of it. Someone can be shelving. Someone can be downstairs. We could put someone down there. Helen can be in her space. So we're all going to be spaced out. We're lucky that the building's sort of self-contained, so we can space out however we want.
I like that phrase. You're all going to be spaced out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, good.
As far as Helen's space, that basically means she gets the whole staff room then there?
Yeah, so we're going to tell the staff not to keep their stuff back there. And Helen's going to come in mostly when the library is closed. I also spoke to Nina about whether or not staff can still work from home. And she said that has not been lifted yet. And she said, basically, don't worry about it. So I will probably have staff do things like programs from home. If there's something a staff member can do from home, I'll probably encourage them to do that.
Can I interrupt for 1 minute?
Yeah.
I just want to interrupt for 1 second to respond to Mark. Mark, that's not really a staff room. That's the tech services workroom, and it's really
Yes.
our house and my space where the books come in and are processed, and we each have a computer there. What has happened is many times when things were hairy or were short in past years, that microwave got put in and it became a snack station more than anything else, and where people put their cell phones to check their messages. So I wouldn't really call it a staff room per se, because our staff room is downstairs. I tend to call it a work room that kind of gets communalized. and I'm going to have to be kind of like non-communal.
Yeah, I'm going to tell the staff they can't go back there, especially when Helen's back there.
Yeah.
I don't know if, yeah, I don't think you can have two people back there, right?
No,
And I think,
so and I can be back there.
Yeah, there's enough space between
There's
the two.
enough space for her and I, for
Yeah.
sure.
okay, and basically, Sam, I think you have to use the other door to your office,
Right.
right? So,
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
So to back up one step, so is town hall allowing people in they're not allowing people in the building starting next
So
week?
Nina doesn't know yet. Nina's been busy with the town warrant, and they're interviewing people for the Alter and Human Services Director position. So she said that we're probably going to be opening before they do.
Okay.
I don't know. She didn't know when they were going to open.
Okay.
All right. And you,
Go ahead, Dave.
yeah, you've set the hours already, Sam, right?
Right. I think
Okay.
if we open on Wednesday, it'll be 10 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Okay. All right, but you got regular hours for once you get going. You've got them all set.
Right.
Does anybody lose any time?
So there have been some staff members that have asked to get reduced time, reduced hours, because they're afraid about coming into the building.
Okay.
So I spoke with HR about that, and what they told me was that if the staff member is benefited, they can't go under 20 hours and still retain their benefits. So their option is to be furloughed, and they can still retain their benefits, but they would have to go on unemployment,
Right.
which right now unemployment is percentage of their paycheck plus the $600 under the CARES Act, I believe.
Yeah.
So I spoke with that employee, and she is thinking about it.
Okay.
But we also discussed whether or not she can maybe work from home, which I got confirmation from Nina that they can. So that
Yeah.
might not be an issue anymore.
Okay. And there's some, there's some people coming close to retirement. Andy for one, and some others. I'm not sure who, but I know that according to their pension system, it's the last 3 years that count towards what their pension is.
Right.
So, are they going to lose hours here, and their yearly pay will go down, or are they going to be able to retain those hours?
So I'm not planning to reduce anyone's hours. So
Okay, there you go. Good enough.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead, Dimitri. Oh, I was just going to ask, so how are signatures going to work for when you need trustees to sign off on payroll and whatnot?
We're still doing DocuSign. I think
Okay.
Mark and Dave have been doing that. I'm not sure if anyone else has, but yeah, for the foreseeable future, we're still doing it that way.
Okay.
So what Susan and I agreed to is I would sign, and then someone else would be the on-call person for the week. I don't know if she's been rotating it around others or not, because I only see that I'm signing. So
Yeah. No, I'm getting them right now, and I'm, it's okay. It's not, once you get it set up, it's easy to do. So if I get rotated out, that's fine. If not, I can still do it until somebody else feels like doing it.
okay.
Pretty easy.
Okay.
So I have a couple additional questions on the opening, Sam, and then some other going forward. What are we doing about, there's been a lot of books that have, I can speak for myself personally, that there's a lot of books at our house that have been checked out for months now. Are we asking people to return them? Are we telling them to return them? Are we asking for like immediate return, sometime return? What's the policy on that?
So I'm going to start asking people to start returning items. We don't have a late fee or any kind of fees anyway, so it's okay for us. As far as other libraries go, I think they're still forgiving them, but as libraries open, we're going to want their books back as well. So the plan is to quarantine the books when they come in. So, we want patrons to return them, but we don't want them to return them all at once, because then we're going to have a lot of books to quarantine. So, so I'm going to encourage patrons to start returning books, but let them know that don't worry about fines for right now.
Okay, so maybe what we should do is like all of the, can we go through and like put all the books that are due, that would effectively have been due 2 months ago, so that they've been effectively renewed for the next 3 weeks, and then people will start getting notices that their books are coming due, right? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. We have all these books checked out, and I used to get an email every day saying your book's overdue or about to be, and I don't get those anymore because something turned them off. So is there a way to turn some kind of reminder back on and not make it something that they're going to all be due Tuesday?
I can ask MVLC. That's something MVLC would have to do. I can't do that.
Sam?
Yes?
I think MBLC is going to stagger the return dates
Right, that's
for
the
items that are due.
right. And yeah, they are going to stagger their return dates. And then Optima, they're the ones that deliver our bins. They're going to take bins back from all of the bigger libraries, basically. They're going to take them first. And then they're going to start going down the list to smaller libraries and getting their bins back. Then it'll be about a week before they'll start delivering bins. So it'll be some time before patrons can start taking out books from other libraries. Under the state requirements, we're not allowed to turn away patrons, not that we would, from other libraries. So like, let's say someone from Groton comes in, or Air, or yeah, sometimes Air patrons come in. But so we can't turn them away. We still have to lend them books, at least our own books. And then as far as books from other libraries, that'll probably take time, especially as they reopen. A lot of the libraries I've spoken to, I think Westford is opening on the 1st. Groton's already open for curbside pickup. Chelmsford I think is opening soon. So there's a lot of local libraries that are doing their opening on a staggered basis as well. But yeah, so I will talk to MVLC to see if they can send out some sort of notice like that to patrons.
Okay.
Can I chime in on that too? So I'm assuming you're having everyone just drop it in that book drop?
Right.
Okay. So I took the liberty of passing your opening plan by one of my friends who's an infectious disease epidemiologist, and she gave you a green light on a lot of things. She liked what you did, which was great. The one thing she asked is if there's a way, and the 3-day quarantine is totally appropriate given the materials that your materials are made of. She did say if there's a way to minimize the touches on the books that are dropped in the bin. So if they're dropped, is there a way to like even just remove the bin and wheel it and replace it with a new bin? Something to minimize the touches from your staff, because that's one of those, it's airborne, but there's also particulates and things she would be concerned about.
Okay. Even if they're wearing
and
gloves,
even though you have gloves and masks and everything, she's like, if you can just minimize it more by removing the whole box and setting it aside for 3 days and then wheeling in a new one and rotating that through that way. It just minimizes the number of times I have to touch it. If it's feasible, I don't know. I don't actually know what that looks like. So.
Okay. We might be able to do something. I'm not sure if we'll be, it's a pretty big, if you ever go into the room, it's a pretty big box. So,
and I'm assuming you're going to have a ton dumped at once,
right?
Unless people can like drop a box for you and you pick it up.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I'll look into what I can do to minimize that.
Yeah, it's just one spot she would recommend some attention.
Okay.
What's going to be the procedure to request books, to pick them up? How is it going to work?
So you request books online the same way you always have. Just put the book on hold. For right now, it'll probably be just Littleton items for a little while, for at least a couple of weeks, and then it'll go from there. Patrons will also be able to call in and ask us if for an item, and then once the item is available, we will let them know that they can come pick it up. We'll try to get it out there that you can only come to pick it up. Because what we had before when we were doing curbside was people were putting the items on hold in the parking lot and then coming right to the door. So we want to let them know you can't do that. It's not going to be ready that quickly. So if any of you...
Are they going to have a specific time, like a time slot they can come in, or how is that going to work?
Yeah, we're gonna have to see. I mean, if we get a ton of people asking, we might have to do it by an appointment system. If not, it'll just be we'll call you, let you know to come in, and do it from there. Well, I would also purchase some paper bags, paper shopping bags. So what we might do is put person's name on it, put a table outside, and put the bag out there so that it retains the patron's confidentiality,
Mhm.
and the patron can just
That's
come.
a good idea. Yeah. Helen, I have been talking to the department chairs about summer reading. They're still dithering. I should have more information next week, but I know that I have summer reading to get to you. How do you want me to do that?
Let's see.
Andrea has offered to be the go-between, but I don't know that that's efficient. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, she's a good go-between because I'm going to go in Sunday afternoon and she's going in Sunday morning.
Okay.
So we could be like ships that pass in the night. If she picks them up Sunday, I can start dealing with them Sunday afternoon, maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Does that work for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And just tell me what grade they're for and, just give me a little background so I know what
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
Mark, did you have any other questions?
So I was wondering if, not for Tuesday, Wednesday, but if when town hall opens, if there's a way we can, when people are allowed back in the building, if there's a way we could set up like the Cooper Room as workstations for patron access, where we could potentially put 3 or 4 computers or something down there, so that all the people that have been suffering without computers and internet, and that seems to be one of the big services we provide, we could somehow allow them into the library without letting them into the library.
So under the governor's order, we can only do curbside in phase 1. So I don't know if.
But how are they doing things about then they're not allowing people into town hall, right? I'm not asking.
Town hall is different. I mean, so when patrons come to use our computers, it's not that the majority of the time they ask for a help. So you're going to need staff in there giving them help. You're going to need staff in there to monitor how much time they're using the space. There's always some sort of technical issue. I don't think we can do it until phase 2.
Okay.
Any other questions? We're also planning to use the Cooper Room for the staff. We're going to set up tables. Each person will get their own table so that they can put their stuff down, sit to eat lunch, have their own little space. So that's another reason. I did speak with Nancy, the IT director, and she said that it is possible that once we do start letting patrons in, that we can move some computers downstairs. She doesn't see an issue with that.
Okay. Do we know if the veterans agent is going to be asking to use our room?
He's going to be using the room. I don't know when he's going to start though.
Okay, and if he's using the room, do we know how we're restricting people from the rest of the building?
So we've always done that anyway in the past, where when he's using the room, patrons aren't allowed, especially when we're not technically open. So we've put stanchions up. So we'll probably just keep the stanchions.
Okay.
Yeah, he's usually in there when we're closed anyway. There's a little bit of an overlap.
Yeah, I don't know if that's still true with your different hours, or how many staff will be in the building, and if they're spaced out, how many staff will be on that floor then at that time versus, yeah.
Yeah. I'll have to communicate with John about that.
And are you effectively also then closing like the staff break room? People are going to be staying at their stations?
So the staff break room is, so right now the staff bathroom is the only bathroom with hot water, or it's going to be. I had to purchase a faucet for, the problem with the staff bathroom is that the faucet leaks with the hot water. So we keep the hot water turned off. So I purchased a faucet for George to install, and I gave him that to him today. So he said he will do that. So right now the staff bathroom will be accessible. So I would have to keep. I mean, I guess I could tell them not to go into the staff room and just go to the straight to the bathroom, but it's sort of right there. As for the rest of the building, there's still no hot water. Basically, I've spoken to George about that, and he said he's going to take a look at it. I also spoke to Nina and to Scott about that. And what Nina and Scott said is that you don't need hot water to wash your hands properly.
Yeah.
How true that is. But yeah, so they said that that's not, so she basically said it's not a priority on her list right now. She was very plain about it. Yeah, we will have it for the staff bathroom, hopefully soon. And as for the rest of the building, she said that's lower on her list.
Okay.
Is the staff going to be ready in 2 days of time? Basically, they come back Tuesday and Wednesday, right?
Yeah,
when I did the trustee training, they said it's a May start on the 25th. It's not a have to start, so a mandatory date. So just want to make sure you guys are prepared and feel ready to go.
Yeah, I've been speaking to the staff. We've been having staff meetings via Zoom every week. They're all asking Helen, when are we going to open? So I think it's something that they're ready to do. I spoke to Andy about it. She said, yeah, she thinks she's ready. So, I mean, I guess we won't know until we do it. But yeah, I think it's going to be fine.
You said we were opening on Wednesday. Is the staff coming in on Tuesday then, or are we doing dry room?
I might have the staff coming on Tuesday. I haven't decided yet. I probably will, though. Just have like some sort of dry run, at least for a little bit.
Okay.
How will you advertise about the book returns and the services?
Facebook, website, word of mouth. Yeah. Newspaper. I'll ask the town to put it on their site. I'll ask LCTV. Susan Palmer had mentioned that some libraries are doing Zoom meetings where they invite patrons to meet with the director to ask questions. So I might do something like that. Or some other sort of platform in Harvey, if you don't like Zoom. Yeah, so I was thinking about doing something like that as well.
Yeah, I think we need to publicize.
A big open sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need to make sure we publicize well what we are and aren't providing and how we're providing it and how those work, including, things like how you're going to get your books, if you do the curbside and how to reserve them and yeah, use all of the sandwich boards we have, I guess, and then some.
Right. Yeah, patrons have already been asking on our Facebook, are you open yet? So I'm sure, I think people know that next week is the time and word will spread. But yeah, we're definitely going to try to advertise as much as possible.
Okay.
Do you have a way set up where you can blast an email to all the patrons?
Yeah, we also have constant contact, so I can send out something via that.
That would be great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And make sure that whatever you send out, you tag Susan so she can flag it she can tweet it out.
You betcha.
Sure.
Betcha.
I tweet things for Shetland Library. I tweet things for the Orkney Islands Library. I should be tweeting Reuben Hoare. Come on. Jeez.
Okay, and do we have plans on how we're monitoring how our progress is going as we after we open? In 3 days we're going to say, this is working, this isn't working, and adjust. And
yeah, so my plan is to continue a weekly meeting with the staff, and so I'll try to gauge it that way. We'll be monitoring. We'll we can't do door count, but we'll try to keep a count of how many patrons are actually coming in. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, we have to wait and see what's going to be like when we open, you know, and see what I need to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And do we have, well, when do we need to start talking about what we're doing for phase 2?
So the governor said it would probably be about 3 weeks before phase 2. So I think in our next trustee meeting, we can start talking about how things have gone. By that point, we would have been open for a week or two, I guess, depending on when our next trustee meeting is. And my plan is to do like I did today, just speak with Nina and Scott, get updates from them, talk with you guys. And we'll figure it out from there.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other questions, comments?
What was the date on the town meeting again?
The 13th.
June 13th at 8 a.m. in Alumni
13th?
Field.
Thank you. Okay.
I have
I
a
think the
question.
next day is a rain date.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I ask a question regarding town meeting? I know it's going to be early, but if it's going to be on a Saturday morning, should we see about having the library open late? So staff can attend?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about that. We can put that on the agenda for our next town meeting, our next trustees meeting, sorry.
Thank you.
Did I see something today about construction being able to be back on again? Does that impact us?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Yes, so we are able to start construction if we get all the other ducks in the row. So
Yeah.
there's a planning board hearing tomorrow.
Okay.
So
you
there's a
guys
planning
had-
board hearing tomorrow.
Okay.
There's a budget, they're getting the GMP number from the CM at risk and working on that number. Now they should have a firmer number on what the GMP is, the guaranteed maximum price. They should have a firmer number on that before our next meeting on June 4th.
Okay.
And the goal still at the moment is is shovel in the ground June 15th. So.
Okay.
Okay, do we have anything else, or how you holding up, Sam?
Good. Had like 5 meetings today. I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
good
and me
luck.
both.
I hope everything goes well with the opening.
Yeah.
Thanks. Thank you. So when do we
Okay.
want our next meeting to be?
I think June 4th is a good date for the meeting. We'll have more on the building project, and we might need to discuss that more at that time. So unless anyone has any objection, I'd suggest we meet then. I'm a little, I doubt we get to take, 7 o'clock on the 4th. We normally take a month off in June or July or August. I'm guessing we're not going to get to do that this year, though.
I don't think this is the year for that.
Also, the HR reminded me that staff evaluations are due, so I'll send you guys my evaluation before the next meeting. And then I'll also have to do staff evaluations through Zoom, I guess.
Really?
So we think our June 4th will be via Zoom, or do we think we can meet in person?
It's going to be through Zoom.
Zoom, okay.
Okay.
We won't be allowed in the building at that time, so. Okay,
Okay.
so if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to dissolve.
I make a motion that we end this meeting this evening.
I
I'll
second.
second. Did I beat you?
Okay. We have to go around for the
Right.
roll call, I think,
Yes.
Yes.
yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Nobody's saying their names, though. David says
Oh,
yes.
geez, I'm a crow, David. Yes, Susan.
Bruce says yes.
You don't want to get,
Mira says yes.
Demetra says yes.
Mark says yes.
okay.
Okay. Thank
Listen,
you.
hey, it's the law. We,
Okay.
we get yelled at if we don't, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Good night,
Time-
everyone.
No,
Good
time for
night.
scotch.
good night. Great to see you.
Good luck next week, Sam.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Right.
Hey, Sam, if you need anyone to edit documents or, proofread your emails or whatever, feel free to send along and we'll help out.
Okay. Thanks.
All right, time for
Katrina's
scotch.
really good at that.
night.
Good night.
Okay.
Night.
Good night.
Bye, good night. Good luck, Sam.
Thanks.